بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. First of all, I do apologize for starting the class after Maghrib. It's supposed to be at 8 o'clock. I was not subhanAllah. Bismillah. There's something wrong with the connection. And I did not remember, actually, because it's the second class we started after 8 o'clock, so there was no actually reason for the delay, apart from me was under the impression that it was after Maghrib prayer. So inshallah it will be, the more that we do it, the more we'll know inshallah it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is the class. The Imam Al-Bukhari rahimahullah, in his book Adab Al Mufrad, he started now talking about the salutation. In chapter 447, that was the start, and there will be so many chapters following that, all of those to do with the importance of the salutation and also the etiquette of saying it, and the importance that the Muslim should be keen to have the zealous to learn how to say the salam in the situations which are, for example, a person is making adhan, a person who's doing a prayer, a person who is meeting another person, a person knocking on the door of somebody else, who starts the salam, the one who's standing up, the one who's sitting down, the one who's walking, the one who's not walking, the one who's in a ride, in a car, the one who's not in a car. So those are the things that we're going to be studying inshallah for the next 2 weeks. So we start with 449, Bab Man Bada'a bis Salam. That was the last thing that we have discussed. Now,
page 195, chapter 449, one who gives the greeting first. 982, Bashir bin Yasar said, no one preceded or got ahead of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma when giving the greeting.
no one, sorry?
Preceded,
Yes.
or got ahead of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma when giving greeting.
This is to show you that the salam is one of those good acts that the people, so the companions used to raise one another. And we know that the Prophet ﷺ, he said that when two people meet one another, the better of them, the best of them is the one who starts with the salam. So this chapter, first of all, Bab Man Bada'a bis Salam, is the Imam al-Bukhari had made it in order to show the excellence of starting the salam. So the ones who meet one another, and the one who starts with the salam, he has more of a reward than the person who replies the salam. Also shows us this athar, the keenness of Abdullah ibn Umar and the Sahaba to be the ones who will start with the salam. Here, Bushayr ibn Yasar, he says, according to his knowledge, no one would initiate and start the salam before Abdullah ibn Umar. I'm hearing a salt in the Shazi, somebody is talking. Now, so nobody would be the first one to start. Brothers, come forward if you're listening. Come forward. Don't sit at the back like that. So many times we told the brothers, it's not really from the etiquette. Bring brother forward yourself. There's a gap. Yes, Jazakumullah khairan. Now, no one had been faster or raced Abdullah ibn Umar to start initiate the salam. He had learned this from Abu Bakr. We're going to see it later on, inshallah. But this is in the cases, number one, where the person is the one to start the salam. But if there's a case where the person should not start the salam, then he should not start the salam, nor he should race to start the salam. For example, if a person had given a phone call to another person, so when you give a call to another person, the other person should not say Salamu Alaikum, even though that he could see your name and you are a Muslim, and he should say Salamu Alaikum. No. Or he says yes. The person who is the one who called, he would say Assalamu Alaikum. This is equivalent to the person when he knocks on the door. When somebody knocks on the door of someone, even though I could see him with my camera, that I know him, he's a Muslim, it is not for me who is inside the house to start the salam. I would say yes again, and the person who is knocking, he would say starts the salam. And this is the etiquette of also Abdullah ibn Umar. We could see him, which is a hadith in Muslim Imam Ahmad, from Zayd ibn Aslam. He said, my father sent me to see Abdullah ibn Umar. When I came to him, so I said, shall I come in? Now he recognized my voice. He said, my dear son, that means he's an old man now, Abdullah ibn Umar. This is after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, if you come to people, then say, Assalamu alaikum. Verily, if they have replied upon you, then you say, shall I come in? So here, Abdullah ibn Umar did not start the salam. He's telling this person who is Zayd, whom his father Aslam had sent him, that is, when you come to the people, don't say, shall I come, but say, Assalamu alaikum. And also you are the person who is meeting that person, don't say to the person who's coming, Assalamu alaikum. So here there is no racing regarding this. Also, I said, this is according to what the Bushayr ibn Yasar, if that is the one, the right pronunciation, or Bashir ibn Yasar, is that it is according to his knowledge that no one had raced Abdullah ibn Umar to the salutation. But we do have number of occasions, being documented in Muwatta Imam Malik, that, for example, Abu Ja'far al-Qari, he said, and he's from the era of the followers, I was with Abdullah ibn Umar, and he used to be having people salutating him, saying Salamu alaikum. And he would reply the same way that they have made the salutation. So this narration tells us that there are some people who used to, as well, be initiating the salam before Abdullah ibn Umar. That to show us that the keenness of not just Abdullah ibn Umar, all of the companions and the followers who learn from the companions to initiate the salam, because the one who initiates the salam is the one who will get the more reward, unless you are in a situation like we have discussed, where the person who comes, he should start the salam and he should reply. So this is as well another issue. Third issue, it could be as well that Abdullah ibn Umar, maybe when he was having the people starting the salam before him, this is before he recognized, as a third reason why we think, that is, it could be that because he just learned recently, that is the virtues and the excellencies to start the salam, as we're going to discuss in Hadith 984, where he had learned this from Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu wa ardah. So, the person who starts with the salam, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, in a hadith which is sahih, إِنَّ أَوْلَى النَّاسِ بِاللَّهِ مَنْ بَدَأَهُمْ بِالسَّلَامِ. The one who has got more right to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in terms of protection, in terms of mercy, in terms of blessings, is the one who starts the salutation. This hadith is to be sahih. And our Shaykh al-Albani made it sahih. Why? Because the one who initiates the salam, he has one of those three virtues. Number one, he is calling the people, or calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the people to be preserved, to be protected. Because you say, Salamu alaykum, peace be upon you. That means you say, oh Allah, put peace onto them. Peace onto them, that is to secure them against the enemies, secure them against the defects, secure them against the diseases and all of that. So you are starting, initiating the salam. Number two, that is the excellence of, that is, or the virtues of, and the reward of, that when you have started the salam, you have made your brother who replies the salam to reply the same. So when you say the salam, you also, that is, the salam of the other person came to you because you have initiated that. So you will have the excellence of starting the salam in order to trigger the reply from your brother. So your brother will be rewarded, but why was he rewarded? Because you have initiated the salam. That's another reward. Thirdly, which is to race towards, as well, embarking upon the khair. So this is the third, to race, embarking upon the khair. So those are the three virtues are there whenever you start the salam. Coming now to 983. Now.
983, Jabir said, the rider greets the person on foot, and the person on foot greets the person sitting down. When there are two people walking, the better of them is the one who gives the greeting first.
Right, and this is a hadith from Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu ardah. He's telling us the etiquettes from the Prophet ﷺ. So it's from him, but it's from the Prophet ﷺ, as we're going to see later on. And this hadith will be shown to us later on in the chapters afterwards. Who is going to be, what is the etiquettes, which one starts the salam, which one initiates the salam. That is, al-rakibu al-mashi, the one who rides. He would start the salam on the one who's sitting. also the one who is walking. And the one who is walking, then he will start the salam with the one who is sitting. And the one who are two walkers meet each other, and they meet one another, the one who start with the salam, then he is the better. And this is the last quotation why the Imam al-Bukhari brought this for this chapter, which is Bab man bada bis salam. That means the excellence of the person who starts the salam. So he said, the Prophet of Allah, or Jabir ibn Abdullah, and this hadith is as well from the Prophet of Allah, the one who is the first is the one who will get the virtues, the reward. Inshallah, when we explain later on in that chapter where it says that is the person who is riding, he will say salam on the one who is walking, and the one who is walking will say the salam on the one who is sitting, because there are etiquettes there. It is actually to show the humbleness, not the arrogance. That when the person is on top of a ride or inside a car, he has tendency to have arrogance, and that is why, because we don't want him to have this thing that is to show him that you are better than the one who is walking. So he starts the salam in order to show humbleness to the one who is walking, and so on and so forth as well for the walking and the one who is sitting. Right. So here the ilqa' salam, the salutation. When you say the salutation in this hadith, it's actually you are initiating the khair. You are embarking upon the khair, and this will as well gain the affection and the love between the people, and also it's a dua to the brothers, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to preserve them from the harms, and also to remove any sort of enmity or sort of as well fear. When you meet the person, you say Assalamu alaikum, you're relaxed, you are pretty relaxed, because this person is not coming now to harm you or to fight you, so he's saying Assalamu alaikum. So also it is a sign of humbleness, because when the person does not say salam, the thing that comes to your mind that this person is what? Arrogant. He doesn't say Assalamu alaikum. He does not say Assalamu alaikum, and he hardly says Assalamu alaikum. So it is all of those benefits from saying the salam. Hadith 984.
94, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma said, Al-Aghar, a man from Muzayna, who was a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was owed some wasaq, measurement of dates, by a man from Banu Amr bin Auf.
Wasaq, awsuq. أوسق جمع وسق. نعم. أو الوسق. وسق or وسق. نعم. And the more correct is the وسق. نعم. Go on.
So a companion of the Prophet ﷺ was owed some wisq or wasq of dates.
Awsuq, more, not wasq, not one, more than
Awsuq.
Yes.
Of dates by a man from Banu Amr bin Auf, and came to him many times. He, Al-Aghar, said, I went to the Prophet ﷺ asking help to have the dates returned, and he sent Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu with me. He went on, everyone we met greeted us. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, don't you see that when people initiate the greeting, they have the reward? Initiate the greeting and you will have the reward. Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu narrated this to express his own manner.
Right. Al-Aghar, a companion from the Prophet ﷺ, Abdullah ibn Umar narrates his story that he had lent someone from Bani Amr, the tribe of Amr. And this is to show the etiquette of Abdullah ibn Umar narrating a hadith of someone who has debt on somebody else. He did not mention the name of that person because it will be embarrassing. Maybe that person did not have means to, pay the debt. So there's no for us benefit to know who is that man whom Al-Aghar, who is the man from Muzayna, this person who had lent, who's that person who he had lent. So we don't want to know that person who is in debt. Maybe it is not really good. So he had, you could say, did not disclose his name. So he said that he had a number of times came to him to ask him for his loan. He asked him for what he had given him. And what he had given him is awsuq, which is, as I said, jam'u wasq, the plural of wasq. And wasq is the equivalent of 240 handful. It's 240 handful. So handful, 240 handful of barley, or it could be by wheat, of dates, So it is a, you could say, a quantity measure, volume measure. It's a volume measurement. So al-kaylu li ahli al-Madina wal-waznu li Makkah. So the weight is in Mecca and the volume weight is in Medina, which is mikyal. So they used to measure each 60 sa', which is 240 mud, is to be wasq. So here, awsuq, he did not mention how many, because we are not concerned to know how many. That person did not have the means to reply, to pay back. So he went in more than once, so he came to the Prophet of Allah. This is as well another benefit that we gain. And if the person cannot get his loan, is not ready to start initiating war and wage war against that person before he goes to the head of the state or the governor or the person who's in charge. That is, I need help. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ as a complaint, complaining about that man. So now the Prophet ﷺ, he did not take his word straight away and implement what the man he wants straight away. He wanted to verify as well. So why is that person verify? Is that true that you have lent him? Number two, is he not paying back? So he sent with him Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is the friend of the Prophet, the companion of the Prophet, and he is as well like a person who is working for the government. He is a person being sent on a mission. So now Al-Aghar is telling us what happened when they were passing by. He said, every person that we met, they had made salutation on us. So who started the salutation? The people. They started the salutation because they know Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. That's number one. Number two, that is their keenness to gain as much as reward as possible. So Abu Bakr is telling now Al-Aghar, where Abdullah ibn Umar is as well learning from this. He said to him, can't you see that the people had, triggered the salam onto you? يَبْدَأُونَكَ بِالسَّلَامِ, and the reward will be theirs. That means, what is the reward here? Both of you are going to be rewarded. The one who makes a salutation and the one who replies the salutation. But the one who is starting the salutation, he will have more reward than the one who had replied the salutation. Even, listen to me, even if that person had replied with more than the one who had made the salutation. You understand what I'm saying? So if I said, Salamu alaikum, you replied, Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. That is, you get the reward of 30, and I get the reward of 20. I was going to see the calculation, but I get 20 plus 30, 50. Because I said the 20, and I triggered you for answering me, وَالدَّالُ عَلَى خَيْرٍ عَلَى الْخَيْرِ كَفَاعِلٍ. And the one who is showing you the path to khayr, he will get the same reward of that person who's doing it. So I'm getting 20 plus whatever you applied, which is 30, 50. So I am better than you. So he said, Abu Bakr, can't you see that they have the reward? You do have a reward in reply, but your reward, their reward is better because they have started the salutation. So he said, start them with the salutation, then you will have the reward. That is the reward of initiating the salam. And this is what Allah ibn Umar had narrated for us, to say to us that this is why my manner is in the same way. It is to initiate the salam, to get the reward of starting the salam. Right. Now coming to Hadith 885.
985, Abu Ayyub radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, it is not lawful for a Muslim to separate himself from his brother for more than 3 days in such a way that when they meet, each one turns away from the other. The better of them is the one who gives the greeting first.
Right. This hadith that passed with us now 399 and 398 in the chapter of boycotting. We've discussed that hadith, but now the Imam al-Bukhari brought this hadith again here for the sake of the last paragraph, and the one who is the best of the two when they meet each other, that is the one who starts the salam. So it is not fit for a Muslim to boycott his brother more than 3 days. That means for dunya wise, not for the akhirah wise, not for deen purposes, not for because bid'ah. It's for the dunya wise. 3 days to cool yourself down, and the other person's cooling down, the two partners cooling down. 3 days, and after 3 days, if you're still not talking to each other, then it is a sin. Both of you have been sinned. So he said, both of them, they will meet one another. فَيُعْرِضُ هَذَا وَيُعْرِضُ هَذَا. That this one will go this side, and this one will side, will just turn his face away from the other person who's not really talking to the other person. But the one who starts the salam is the one who is better. So the one who's got the courage to start the salam. And he did not say, the Prophet of Allah, to start the hugging, to start the invitation, just a salam. So the salam, and then the salam will bring the kalam, and the kalam will bring the smile will bring hugging. So you're not going to expect somebody who you had a big fight with, maybe you had a physical fight with, and then the following day or 2 days or within 3 days you're going to go and hug him. It's not really, it's very hard. So you just start the salam, alhamdulillah, that salam is enough for you to exempt you from the sin. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the best of the salam, that is to start with. So the ones of the best, this is because of that last paragraph, Al-Imam al-Bukhari brought this hadith. As I said, this hadith was explained before in the chapter of 309, sorry, hadith 399 and 398. Okay, chapter 450. Now,
Chapter 450, the virtue of the greeting.
what time is the prayer, Aisha? Very good. We're going to be doing it as quickly as possible, all right? Yeah.
986, Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, a man passed by the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam while he was in an assembly and said, peace be upon you. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, 10 good deeds. Another man passed by and said, peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said 20 good deeds. Then another man passed by and said, peace be upon you and the mercy of Allah and His blessing. The Prophet ﷺ said 30 good deeds. Then a man in the assembly got up to leave and did not give any greeting. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, how quickly your companion forgets. When one of you comes to an assembly, he should give the greeting. If he desires to sit down, he sits down. And when he stands up to leave, he gives the greeting. Neither is a more meritorious duty than the other.
Right. The hadith, the chapter is Fadlus Salam. Fadlus Salam means the virtues, the excellencies. What is the reward lying for you in the salam? And what is going to be implemented and as well entailed when you say the salam? This is why the chapter is there. What is the entail? So what is the reward you're going to get? Abu Hurairah narrates for us a story when a man passed by the Prophet ﷺ. Again, the man is not being named here because we're not concerned about the man. We're concerned about what is the relevance. There are hadith, so there is no relevance of this name of this man. We don't need to know his name. So he said, while the Prophet of Allah, he said in a majlis, Assalamu alaikum. He did not say peace be upon him. He said Assalamu alaikum. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said Ashu Hasana. Now this is narration being abbreviated. We do have a narration in Sunan Dawood. He said wa alaykum as-salam. That means you're replying the salutation. So he said he replied the salutation fa alaykum as-salam, and he said Ashu Hasanat, 10 Hasanat. Okay, so why is 10 Hasanat? Because Assalamu alaykum is 1 Hasanat, and each Hasanat has a multiple of what? Of 10. Up to what? 700. So this is 10. With the Quran, each letter is 10. Alif, Lam, Mim, 3 letters, 30 Hasanah. But the Quran is different. This is to do with the Hasanah. What do you do? Assalamu alaikum is 1 Hasanah. Even it consists of so many words. And each Hasanah gets at least multiple of 10. So that's 10 Hasanah. A man passed, which is another one, even also his name was not mentioned, said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So the Prophet ﷺ, he replied, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, 20. That is 20 Hasanah. Because Assalamu alaikum, which is the peace be upon you, that is Hasanah, which is multiple of 10, wa rahmatullah, which is the mercy of Allah, which is 1 Hasanah, have a multiple of 10. So 10 plus 10 is 20. That's the minimum. So then another person passed by, and his name is not mentioned again for the same reason. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now he's got now Assalamu alaikum, 1 Hasanah, wa rahmatullah, 1 Hasanah, wa barakatuh, 1 Hasanah. Assalamu alaikum gives a multiple of 10, and the mercy of Allah 10, and the barakat, which is the blessings of Allah, is 10. That's 30 Hasanah. So Prophet said, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So he said 30 Hasanah, and then after that he said 30 Hasanah. Right. A man went out from the majlis, from the gathering which contains now this reminding of the salam and the version of the salam and the Prophet of Allah. So all of these companions are around. This man, definitely his name was not mentioned for a reason as well. Because it shows you how, very weak we are. How forgetful we are. This man was in the gathering, so he left the gathering and he did not say the salam. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ma awshaka ma nasiya sahibukum." He just forgot, and we've been talking about a person said, "Salamu alaykum," 10 hasana, alaykum wa rahmatullah, 10 hasana, wa barakatuh, 10 hasana. Now this person went out and he did not say anything, not even salam. Now he did not say the salam, either he forgot, or maybe he did not understand that only the salam is what? Just when you arrive, it's not when you go out. So this is maybe another reason why this person did not say Assalamu alaikum when he left. So when we are people who are eager to gain as much as possible from the hasanat, then we do the following. We do Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, then you got the following reward. Number one, you have came up with the full salutation, which is 30 hasana. Number two, you have pushed your partner, the one who's going to reply to you at least with what? The same thing, which is wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And thirdly, which is that is you're going to get the same reward of his, because he's done this, so you're going to get the reward of his. So you got 30 of yours plus 30 of his, you got what? 60. Adab Al Mufrad. Right, now the Prophet ﷺ, as soon as he finished this, the man, he left and he did not say salam. So the Prophet ﷺ now telling the companions, that just like we have said regarding the person is coming, he says salam, also the one who's what? Leaving. Now, so the person when he leaves, he says wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now before I go ahead, what is the reward of that? I need to tell you that we are the son of Adam, and we forget. We people, we do forget. And we need as well people to remind us. So this is a hadith tells us that we are the son of Adam, we do forget, and we do need reminders as well. And the person, he has to have this mujahada, striving against himself in order to get the good. For verily, some of the Salaf, they said something which we need to be implement. And wallahi, when I read it myself, and I was so happy, that if a person, إِذَا سَمِعَ أَحَدُكُمْ, that if a person had heard a hadith, then let him embark upon doing it even once. For verily, if he does it, then he will be from the people of that hadith. إذا سمع أحدكم بحديث قال فليعمل به ولو مرة واحدة حتى يكون من أهله. He will be. So when you heard this, I was so happy. So some of the hadith that you could really, meant you did it once, but you did not all the time because you forgot to do it. So if you did it once, you'll be from the people of that hadith. But this is to do with what? With the recommended acts, not with the obligatory. With the obligatory, you have to do it. You must do it. It's an obligation upon you. But this is beautiful for the recommended act. So here we find that the Prophet ﷺ, he took teaching the companions that if a person who is in a majlis, then if he comes to the majlis, then he lets him say salam. So if he wants to leave, okay, if he wants to sit down, if he wants to leave, then let him also make the salutation. Now, we want you to revive the sunnah. When you leave, the best salam that you give, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How many of us, when they leave, they say the full salutation? They go, Assalamu alaikum, and they leave. The best one is the one who does it what? In full. If he does it in full, the following reward is his. Number one, he had said it in full, so 30 hasan. Number two, he had as well pushed the ones who are listening to what? To reply in full. So that you are getting you have the reward of making your brother returning in full. Thirdly, you're going to get as well the reward of that person. Fourthly, you're going to get the reward of the majlis. The majlis itself, whatever is in it is good, then you're going to get the reward of it. Because we do have the hadith we're going to be passing by us 1009, where we have Qurrah, he said to his son Muawiyah, verily, O dear son, if you are in a gathering and you are hoping for the goodness of it, that means the reward of it, but there's something had pushed you to leave. Maybe you got your wife called you or something had happened, you have to leave. Then say Assalamu alaikum. Why? Because if you are leaving, if you said that, then you are participating in whatever good they are doing. So as soon as they say Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. So as soon as they say salam, as soon as they say the salam, then you are actually gathering. So this brother gave us an example. Now he left now. Whatever he left now for, okay, he said the salam and he pushed her to reply, and also he's got the reward of the what? Of the gathering here. So تشركهم في ذلك المجلس. Subhanallah. And also another reward, which is the fourth one or the fifth one, is that you are reviving the sunnah. Adab Al Mufrad, as Shaykh Al-Albani rahmatullah said, this is something being forgotten by so many people, that the people aren't doing it. That is, so many people, they leave, they don't say salam. True or not? They don't say salam. They hardly say salam when they come in. They're going to say salam when they leave. They don't. So we are reviving a sunnah. So all of that, Wallahu ta'ala a'lam, is that we find ourselves, mashallah, in front of a hadith that gives us a lot of reward. 987. Now,
987, Umar radiallahu anhu said, I was riding behind Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and he passed some people. He said, Assalamu alaikum. They responded, and wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. He said, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. They responded, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abu Bakr said, today the people have excelled us in additional rewards.
Right. And Umar al-Khattab, radiallahu anhu, he said, I was Radif. Radif means behind, on top of a mount. That mount could be a donkey, it could be a horse, it could be a camel, it could be a mule. It cannot be a car, by the way. Right, in this. So it could be a donkey, could be, as I said, a horse, could be a mule, or it could be a camel. And here are the two best of people, that is Abu Bakr and Umar, after the prophets. They were behind each other. So he is behind Abu Bakr, Umar, on top of that camel. So he said, every time we pass by the people, okay, he would say, Abu Bakr, Assalamu alaikum. So he initiates the salam. And they would reply, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And he would say, as initiating, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. They would reply, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now Abu Bakr here, the way he read it, and as well some of the people read it, he said, can't you see that the people had exceeded us? But actually no. How we have exceeded the people. And this is supposed to be, that we are better. Even though they replied more, but we are getting better. Remember what he said? Remember? To Al-Aghar, who went together to go and get the money to see why is that man from Bani Auf, why he's not really paying money, why he's not paying the equivalence of the 240 muds. You remember? So he's saying that, verily, can't you see that we had exceeded the people. We have exceeded the people by starting the salutation, because Abu Bakr in the previous one, in the hadith, he said to him, which is 994, number 904, he said to Al-Aghar, that is, can't you see that these people have started the salutation to take in the what? The reward. So you start the people with the salutation, you'll get the reward. The reward of what? Of the reward of yours, and the reward of the reply, and the reward of lots of things. Lots of things. الدال على الخير كفاعل. Now, we find ourselves as well that the Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith which is mentioned in Silsila al-Sahih of Shaykh Al-Albani, إِنَّ السَّلَامَ إِسْمٌ مِنْ أَسْمَاءِ اللَّهِ. Verily, peace, salam, peace is one of the names of Allah. Allah put it on the land, then spread it amongst you. For verily the man, when he says salutation on the people, and then they replied upon him, he will have an extra reward, an edge, a rank, a step over them, because he had reminded them. And if they did not reply, then someone else had replied better than them on him. Who's that? An angel. So again, the salam is one of the names of Allah, who put it on the earth, so spread it amongst you. When the man makes salutation upon one of the people, and they have replied upon him, he will have an upper edge, because he started the salam, because he have reminded them. And if they did not reply, a better person had replied on you, and he's better than them. and he is more righteous than them, and that is the angel. So you start the salutation. That's the person. You meet someone, you are the first one. Salamu alaikum. I know that somebody is going to be racing each other, and both of them going to say Salamu alaikum to each other. So if it is the case, then both of you say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So if you have said Salamu alaikum at the same time, you both reply to each other because you were at the same time. But if he preceded you, you are the one who replies, and he's got the virtues of saying the salutation.
988. Aisha radiallahu anha said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the Jews are not jealous of you for anything the way they envy you for the salam and the ameen.
So the ameen, basically, as I said, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, he who synchronizes with the angels, then his ameen will get him a sin forgiven. من وافق تأمينه تأمين الملائكة غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Simple thing you could do. So how can I know when the angels make ameen? I don't know, I didn't see the angels make an ameen. Because the angels make ameen with the imam. With the imam. So when the imam says ah, the angel says ah, and you say ah, with him. Don't wait for him, so together, don't precede him. If you preceded him, you've lost that edge. You lost that thing that makes you going to have a sin forgiven. How many people, they miss that point? How many of this Muslim ummah come to the masjid, they don't know that when the imam says ameen, they say ameen with him. Before the imam even finishes, wala dhal, just listen to the letter l, is all it. Just listen to al, why? Because of the ignorance. And the ignorance is not because of the lack of teaching, no. Because of the dunya. There are lots of now ways of getting the knowledge. But the people, they don't want to learn. Allahu musta'an. Like a person who was doing khutbah, mashallah, for 20 years, khatib. And he's well known. MashaAllah, his khutbah, he prepares his khutbah and everything, MashaAllah, and he gives the khutbah reminders of the people. So, one person after he made the khutbah after 20 years, he said to him, can you just tell me you've been being a khutbah for 20 years, what did you achieve? So he said to him, you've been listening for me 20 years, what did you do? Do you understand that? What did I achieve? So ask yourself, you've been 20 years listening to me, what did you do? People listen and listen and then they forget. People listen and listen. The man at the time of the Prophet of Allah is talking about the virtues of the salam. This man leaves and he does not say the salam. How forgetful we are. So, brothers, what we say here is not something just to leave it here and go out. It's similar to the person who comes to the masjid, puts the beard, puts the garb, and puts the scarf, and puts the topi. As soon as he leaves, he puts that beard down and puts the cap and then puts everything, and then he backs to the dunya. Subhanallah. So we have masjid, sort of, you could say two qualities now. Masjid quality and outside quality. No, brother, you have to carry the religion with you out. And you know that some of the fact that some of the masajid, they do have a box there for hats. So they put the hat for the prayer, and they put the hat on. What is this? It reminds me of the sister when she wants to make a prayer and she's got no hijab. She comes to the prayer, does the hijab. And as soon as she goes to work, no hijab. What is this, sister? What is that? So what so I'm going to be putting a box now, just for the beard and the cap and everything, the thobe. When he puts the thobe and the beard and everything, the hat, prays with them, and then after he leaves, he puts them out and then he leaves out. No, brothers. So we need to implement what we do here outside. It's not just for the simply just to sit, look and do nothing. No. We have to carry what we say outside. Right. So the salutation and the ta'meen. Ta'meen, ameen. When you imam, you bow the imam, when he says ameen, hold your breath until the imam starts ameen. Hold. And this is not a big issue to do, small issue. Let's see inshallah after the prayer of the Isha. Clear inshallah. Now, 451.
Chapter 451, As-Salam. Salam is one of the names of Allah, the Mighty and Majestic. 989. Anas radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, As-Salam, peace, is one of the names of Allah, the Almighty, which He has placed it on the earth. Therefore, spread the salam, greeting amongst yourselves.
Right, salam. Salam is one of the names of Allah. So you could call yourself Abdus Salam. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And to Allah belongs the good names, the most beautiful names, so call Him using these names. Now this hadith talks about, that is, As-Salam is names of Allah. That means as well we need to know how to make the salam as we have been doing it, especially in some occasions, like can we make a salam on a person who pray? Can we make a salam to a person who is making the adhan? Yes, we can. So the person who is praying could say Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If he's making the adhan, he could just, while he's making the adhan, between the two statements, for example, he was Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, he could say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and continue with his adhan, no problem. But if he's praying, he cannot reply with his tongue, he has to reply with his gesture. His gesture is being shown to us. That is, the person, when he makes a reply, he would, like Bilal, he said the Prophet he did like this, and basata, and the one who's narrator from Bilal, he said, and he did like this, with his palm towards the earth, and his upper portion of his hand is towards the heaven. So this is the salutation. For a person who's saying Salamu alaikum to you when you pray, you do like that. That's if you're in a position where you are reading the Fatiha. But if you are in a position of ruku' or sujood, you can't leave your knee, detach your hand from knee, and you do like this to the person. So that's not right. So what is the way? It is a gesture to acknowledge that you are acknowledging the salutation of the person who's saying salam, and at the same time telling him, I can't reply because I'm in prayer. So you could nod your head. Nodding your head just once, like this, or twice. That means I acknowledge your salam. That is, so while you are making ruku'. That's a way as well to appreciate that you are receiving the salam, but you can't reply because you're in a prayer. Is it disliked to say salam to a person who is praying? That's not right. Even Imam al-Nawawi had said that. We say that Imam al-Nawawi himself, he refutes himself by himself, saying, rahimahullah, that when a person who's praying and somebody said salam to him, then it is recommended for him to reply. So if it's recommended for him to reply, then that means the recommendation as well to say it. So you can't say it is not recommended to say it and then you say recommended to reply. That's how our scholars had dealt with the statement of Imam Nawawi rahmatullahi alayhi. Right, inshallah we're going to be talking about the salutations as well in more details in the weeks coming, because there are more than issues regarding as well, do we repeat the salam when we pass by a stone or a tree? All of those will be discussed inshallah in due course. After the prayer we will do 10 minutes or just for questions and answers. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa ahsanallahu ilaykum. I think the adab is Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We've been discussing before, we're going to be discussing before the salutation and what the merits of the salutation. So we will be now taking question regarding the etiquette of salam or anything to do with the salam. If you haven't, then we go to the questions regarding what we need to know regarding our religion. Now, right. Is there any distance regarding the salam? That is, the person when he says salam to another person. Is there any distance? The distance, it is actually for the sake of that is you can't see him, and there is no salutation. But you could see him, but he can't hear you. Because of the distance, or because of that you are in a car and he is, for example, walking, it is impossible for you to say the salam loud enough for him to hear it. That does not exempt you from the salam. So this we would say coupled with the movement of your hand. So you say to the person who sees you but he can't hear you, the following, to do like this, to say to him that I am acknowledging that I'm saying to you Salamu alaikum, and with the words. You can't just, because people say, some people they do like this without saying anything with their mouth. So to say Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, whatever, and the other person he would reply whatever he wants to reply because he can't hear you. But as well, he would just acknowledge the salam with his hand. If his hand is busy with his head, anything to do with the gesture to tell the person I'm acknowledging the salam, but as well with the mouth. You only don't move the mouth when you are praying. That is when you don't move the mouth. You just say, you nod your head, and because you can't say anything in the prayer except for what is the prayer required from you to say. So this is the way to say the salutation. We have learned this, and Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, he has as well discussed this issue, and he said, it is not from the sunnah to give a gesture to a person while you are not in a prayer. You say salam to him, or to reply the salam without your mouth as well saying the salam. So always. Now which hand, if you want to wave, always use the right hand. The right hand to say the salam. Now, just like we have said, what is the proof in the prayer? The Prophet ﷺ, he did like this with his right hand, which is a gesture as well to say the salam. Now, for the left right. The one who says as-salam, we reply on him the following. We say to him, say as-salamu alaykum. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, he who does not start you with a salam, don't talk to him. So this person is ignorant, so we teach him. Say, brother, as-salamu alaykum. So he would say, as-salamu alaykum, wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullah. So this is the reply for somebody who says as-salam. Even some of them, salam, even with the as-salam, he says, salam, trona. And some people would say even, hi. So I would say to him, brother, you should say Assalamu alaikum. But I'm going to say to him, Assalamu alaikum, you say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why we did this? Because we have said that the Prophet ﷺ taught that person when he left, he did not say salutation. And he said that how can the person fast? He could forget. We've been talking about the reward, and this person did not say the salutation. And he told them that is, just like you say salutation when you come in, you say salutation when you leave. Also, Abdullah ibn Umar, that Zayd ibn Aslam, his father sent him to meet him. So when he met him, he said to him, shall I come in? He recognized his voice. He said, my dear son, when you come in, you say Salamu alaikum. Then after the people reply to you, wa alaikum assalam, you say, can I come in? You can't just say come in. So he taught him. Because he doesn't know. So that's the way as well to teach the people when they don't say the proper way. Either they don't say it at all, or they don't say. You teach them. Lots of people that are, in our countries, some of the countries, mashallah, they say all the time say salamu alaikum. But some of my countries, like mine, this word salamu alaikum is the last thing we say. Marhaba, go work. Only these words. You understand Arabic? What you'll be laughing. I mean, Allah make you stronger. So salutation is gone. Now, and as soon as you see the beard, they say, oh. He will change now to switch on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. It's like taking the mic. He's not saying salutation, it's like taking the mic. Assalamu alaikum. That means I have to say that to you. But to other people, I say marhaba. Hi. Allah said sabahak. Even there are programs on TV and radio, just like the kuffar they have, good morning, isn't it? As'ad Allah sabahak. Ya akhi, what is assalamu alaikum? Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Don't take that away. There are some channels, they are dedicated to remove the Salaam alaikum. One of them is called Al Jazeera for the children. From A to Z, from the morning until the evening, they are teaching the kids. Marhaba, marhaba, no Salaam alaikum. This is to brainwash the kids. No Salaam alaikum. This is called the kids one. And Allahu Akbar. They are as well making this disaster mixing between the male and the female to teach them. No harm about that. Allahu musta'an. Allahu musta'an. Shayateen al-ins. Now. What the prayer mean? Yeah, when they're in a prayer, we need to, first of all, when you say Salamu alaikum, you need to say Salamu alaikum in a way which does not disturb the people who pray. What is the proof for this? The proof for this is that even when we are not praying, and we're reciting Quran, the Prophet ﷺ, he said to us, don't recite the Quran loudly, فَتُؤْذُ الْمِنِينَ. That is, you'll harm the believers. Either in your recitation of the Quran, which is outside the prayer, it will harm the believer if you do it loudly. Also the adhkar of the Prophet ﷺ, that is to say, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, 33. All these adhkar, you have to say them in a way which is not going to disturb the one who is beside you. So if the people are going to raise up their voice, either this person will synchronize with them because he can't do it in his own, or he will not do it, or he will just listen to them doing it. So we say, because of this issue, that we say to the person when he comes into the prayer, you should not say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and then the people would say like this, and the person is reciting the Quran. It's not even in the Quran, especially if it's a loud recitation for the Imam. Imagine now 20 people came in. one after the other. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum. I think the Imam will stop his recitation. So it is to join in, and the last row that you join in, because you need to have the reply of your salutation. So when you join the row, you say to the person who's you coming to, assalamu alaikum. So the people who are joining in the row, would hear the salutation. They would nod their head if they are in the ruku, they nod their head. If they raise up their hands, if they are up, But you'll not be able to see the first row replying your salutation. So that is why we say to the salutation. Where did we learn this? From our scholars. Sit with the scholars, you learn from them. We learned it from our scholars how to say the salutation. Now, تفضل. The salutation, does it reply to the salutation of the text? You see, we find a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ when Jibreel alayhi salam came and Aisha, she was there and said, the Messenger ﷺ, he said, Aisha, say to her that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to her, salutation, assalamu alaikum. So Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, oh Messenger of Allah, you see that we don't see. That means you see Jibreel, we don't see him. She said, وَعَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ. So that salam conveyed by what? By the Prophet. So if it's conveyed by a message, conveys by a letter. So when somebody says to you a letter, say Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, or a recorded message, you say as well, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Because of Aisha replied the salutation, even Jibreel salam was not there. He left. Also when we come to the house, even the house is empty, we say Salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. So the house, when you come, an empty house, there is nobody there, say Salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi. As-salam is very important. When you come to the house and it's empty, you don't say Salamu alaikum because there is nobody there to reply your salam. And you don't want the jinn to reply on you. And then you'll end up leaving your house. So, Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Now, تفضل. Is it okay to reply that is the hadith with Assalamu alaikum? No, because it could be that this is a narration which is not, as I said, it's not being narrated in the right way. It is Assalamu alaikum, say wa alaikum assalam. So the way to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum ahl al-diyar, this is when you come to the graveyard. But you cannot reply the salam by somebody says Assalamu alaikum, you say Assalamu alaikum, you say wa alaikum assalam. Yeah, this is the right way, even though both means the same. Assalamu alaikum and Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Wa alaikum assalam. Uncle, yes. You've got a lawyer uncle here. He said to me, uncle's asking. Is it for the... Well, I would say that the elder and the young, they are equal in terms of, that is, racing to the what? To the good. But, so, by the way, one person is enough, and everybody wants to say it, no problem. One person is enough for the whole majmu'ah, but everybody can say it and reply the salam. But I would say the eagerness for the kids is more, should be to respect the elders and to show that they are humble. So you start the salutation to a person who is what? Okay? Who is older than you. Make sure that you do that. So the older, or you start, but each person is eager to have the reward. The Prophet ﷺ, who is the Prophet? He is the best, and whose sins, the previous and the future one, were forgiven. Yet he was eager. When that was him and Ali ibn Abi Talib and Zubayr, they were going to the battle, and both of these two companions, they had to share one camel for 3 people. And it was each turn would go somebody and 2 would walk. So when the Prophet of Allah was on top of the camel, he wanted to dismount. He said, the Messenger of Allah, take our turn, stay there. He said, مَا أَنْتُمْ بِأَحْوَجَ مِنِّي عَلَى الْأَجْرِ. You're not really in more of need to the reward than myself. I am as well in need of the reward. So he had dismounted and gave the turn to Ali ibn Abi Talib and so on and so forth. So we find here that the Prophet of Allah is teaching us that is, even if you're an old man, you start the salutation. Even to a person who's young, but the young, we say to him, rush to start salutation in order to show your, as well, humbleness. تفضل.
Earlier on regarding the reward, I like to say 20, you get from the other one 3 times. Is it from one person, or like say gathering everyone answered right?
Yes, you collect that as well. Yes, so this person who said Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, he collected all our hasanat. Hasanat is, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no need for you to count how many hasanat I'm going to get. So, I'm just saying. So the person, when he says, hang on a second, let me get a book, it says 20, 30, 20. Don't do that. Just make as many reward as possible, and then Allah Azza wa Jal, He has appointed those angels for you to count. This counting is for them. It's for you just to do as many good as possible. But you know that Allah Azza wa Jal had done so many things for us and facilitated for us to make it easy to get the reward. What more do you want that if you've been fasting, or you've been fasting on Monday and Thursday, and you've been doing Qiyam on Monday and Thursday, and you had an accident, and you sat down for months and days and years, that your Monday and Thursday will be recorded for you, that is fasting and doing the Qiyam, even though you're not doing it. No job. So the boss will give you that. That is to go at home and you say, khalas. So imagine that you've been very good, so that the master said they don't have to wipe the table. Consider the way the table is being wiped. Nobody will do that. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is giving us, alhamdulillah, abundance of reward. But we have to be eager to do it with good intention, inshallah. Let's have a last question. Fadal. Question. Hang on a second. I have to give the one to the closer to the table more priority now. How loud should we say the Ameen? The loud of the Ameen is that the collective Ameen of everybody should be able to, for example, to give an echo sound in the masjid. So the masjid could be not shaking, I would say, but it is loud. Okay. But you, to make an Ameen loud, like and you start shouting, that's not from the Sunnah. But you say it loud, as in loud. And also we tell the brothers who are making the adhan, which alhamdulillah this adhan here, mashallah, done very well. But if, for example, you're making an adhan now, and this adhan is meant to be for the people who are in the masjid. Let's say that your masjid has got 2-3 people. And there is no adhan outside. Are you going to shout in the adhan? So you're going to scream, Allah, there's only 2 people you are here. So the adhan is inside here. No, it's not going to go outside. So the adhan as well, it is loud, but it's not loud in screaming. It is loud, but not loud in screaming. Same thing here, Ameen, not loud with screaming. So you're not doing like what the Prophet has done in the khutbah. كأنه منذر وجيش. Otherwise this person is going to put some cottons in his ears. He's next to you because you're high decibels. So Ameen, like Ameen. This one is loud, the other person is loud. Altogether it becomes really loud. Yes. Wallahu a'lam. Na'am.
What is the rule regarding saying Assalamu alaikum wa salamu alaikum?
Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. This is peace be upon you. Now if you say assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, this has been said and it's been as well authenticated, assalamu alaikum. But it is better to say assalamu alaikum because you're saying it to the person who is here or the person who is not listening, or it is you're applying the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when Jibreel alayhi salam, he had conveyed the salutation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his salutation to, he conveyed his salutation to Aisha. This is show her, give her the salam. He said, give her the salam on her, not on them. I said, on her. So she said, wa alayhi, and upon him, not upon them. Okay? So, assalamu alayka wa rahmatullah, wa alayka assalam wa rahmatullah, no problem. Assalamu alaykuma for 2, plural, this is used by 2. Assalamu alaikum for a plural. Nah. But no problem to say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah even with one person. Now, Fadal, hang on a second, the one, I'll go to you. Yes.
Are you allowed to recite with the audio, Quran with the audio?
Well, what does that mean?
Like if you have a phone and it's reciting Quran, are you allowed to recite with it?
Oh, no problem, you recite along with the audio to learn. That's very good. This is one of the ways of learning. So you're putting the audio recited Quran and you're reciting along with it in order to learn, yes? To beautify your voice or to copy the melody of that person because you like it. No problem, inshallah. No problem. Now, Fadal?
You said about the written messages or letters that we receive. We always don't reply, like official letters come from Muslim school or we just utter the reply while reading the letter and that is...
No problem. I tell you, just replying wa alayka assalam wa rahmatullah without even, because yes. Nah. Fadal.
Regarding
text messaging.
Again.
Text messaging is abbreviated, is shortened. Is it okay?
Abbreviated shortened, like for example, ASL, AL, SASL. As long as the person reads it, we have no problem with it. But if he reads it like this, ASAL, what does that mean? Then you should not allow. So like Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So if you put the Sad, if the people say Nabi Sad, what is Sad? So if they understood from the Sad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that's permissible. But they don't understand for it. Because I remember when I was a kid, they used to put Nabi Sal'um. Sal'um, Sad, Lam, Ayn, Mim. I remember those when I was a kid. I never knew what's the meaning of it. I said, Sal'um, maybe he's a bold man, he was the Prophet of Allah. Sal'um Aslayan. I never knew it until I grew up. So that's not right. Because the kids, they don't understand Sal'um. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the printers are very easy to do, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now it's like a small one, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we're not really going to be bored by saying sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But no problem to say wood short as long as the short hand is understood. Now, تفضل.
هل يطرح السلام في مكان الوضوء؟
هل يطرح بدل? First of all, when you are doing the questions, there is no salam. It's only when you leave and you come back. So when you start a question, you don't salamu alaykum. Secondly, regarding the wudu places, the wudu places is wudu consists of either a wudu place and a toilet with it, or a wudu place like this, and the toilets are locked. So when you come to the wudu places, you must say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to the person who is there making the wudu. And the person replies, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. But what about if I'm next to a toilet which is open? The toilet does not prevent you from saying the salutation if somebody said the salutation. It prevents you from making remembrance of Allah unnecessarily. Unnecessarily. So start reciting Quran, making tajweed, you like it in the wudu place, while the toilet is next to you. That's not a place for recitation of the Quran, but does not prevent you from saying salutation whenever it's needed. Imagine that you're going to die there. You're going to say La ilaha illallah, last kalima. You're going to say it. As for if you are on the toilet doing it, you're not allowed to mention Allah's name in any way. So inshallah, you hope that you're not going to die while you're doing it. Because if you're doing it, you're not allowed to say Allah's name. It's necessity, that's something else. But we say that, and I keep bringing this issue because it's very important as well. They say the Qadianis, they got this Mirza Ghulam as to be not Ahmad Mirza Ghulam. Ahmad, they put it there. They lumped Ahmad in the name. Ahmad does not exist. He's called Mirza Ghulam. He's to be their prophet. And those Qadianis, the ones who, they are actually say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. You know that. I can't say all Qadianis are kuffar, but Qadiani religion is kufr. Do you understand that? So not every person who is a Qadiani you can say is a kafir, but every Qadiani person who believes in Qadiani religion is a kafir. Now, those people, they believe that their Mirza Ghulam is to be a prophet. That prophet, how did he die? In the toilet while he's doing it. Now we say that two things apply to prophets. He's a prophet, if he's a prophet. Number one, that he has to, how can he die in the prophet to die in the toilet where you're not allowed to say dhikr of Allah? Number two, prophets are to be buried where they die. So he's to be buried in that toilet. So where the toilet he's been doing it, he's to be buried in it. So he can't be a prophet. And you know that they don't, in this fact, they don't mention it. But he died through I think it's a cholera. Yes? I think it's a cholera, yes. Cholera disease. Now, while he was doing it. He can't be a prophet. We tell these people to wake up. You know, you're not following the Islam religion. Now, subhanakallah bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.